Today, on the third day of Trans Awareness Week, we are looking at To Strip the Flesh by Toda. Now, this is actually a collection of stories, but the titular story, To Strip the Flesh, is the one we will be talking about because it's a story about a trans man, specifically him. This is Chiaki, and he knows he's a trans man. He's known, well, since he was a little kid, little boy. But he's in the closet due to a unfortunate event during his childhood that led to his father basically telling him to be more like a girl, to not, risk his life and such, as his father is a hunter and there was a hunting related accident that came about because Chiaki wanted to be like his dad. But what the actual main meat of the story revolves around is him coming out and going through with his transition. So Chiaki is a YouTuber as an adult, and he is fairly popular, but everyone sees him as a woman. And he suffers a lot of sexist comments and online harassment from creeps, and it's just bad and it sucks, especially since he, tries to present, more tomboyish, but he has a large chest, and as a result, the comments are what they are. It's deeply uncomfortable to read, to be perfectly honest, and being a trans person who is visibly online and visibly trans, it hit it home for me, even if my experience is different from that of a trans man in this regard. When Chiaki finds out that his father is terminally ill, he starts thinking about what would happen if he fell ill, if he died. And he doesn't want to die with the world seeing him as a woman, and that's ultimately what pushes through that's what pushes him to finally go through with it, to come out, to go through with things. And it's a pretty long story for a story in an anthology like this, but because of that, it deals with a lot of things after coming out. The entire transition process, while somewhat fast forwarded, is covered really well, including top surgery and hormones, and the fact that a lot of trans people in Japan end up having to go to other countries to go through with things like their surgery. It's I sort of want to say it's a fairly graphic book, but not in the sense that it's gory or even like sexual, but there's a lot of nudity, there's a lot of exploration of the fact that Chiaki has this body that makes bad people, behave a certain way towards him, and how much that hurts him, and how he just wants to strip the flesh from his body like the carcasses that his father brings home from hunting. And I won't give away how it ends. I won't give away how things unfold between Chiaki and his father, as well as Takato, which is his friend, who is also the only person who knows that Chiaki is trans at the start of the story. Both wonderful characters, really good chemistry between these two, and yeah, it's wonderful. Now, as you might have noticed, this is a Japanese copy. This is not out in English yet, but it is coming out next year. To Strip the Flesh was picked up by I forgot. Viz Media, right? Viz Media. To Strip the Flash was picked up by Viz Media and will be releasing, I believe, spring next year. So definitely something to look for at that time. There is a fan translation of To Strip the Flesh, although it's called Stripping the Flesh instead. But with the official localization coming out, I would urge people to support the official release if they can. Now, you might have recognized the name Toda if you are a Shihaya Furu fan, because Toda was actually the illustrator on one of the Shihaya Furu manga. The second series, I believe. So it was kind of a surprise, to me at least, seeing his name suddenly appear on, a trans story that talks about LGBT matters and what it's like transitioning, and does so really, really well. If I didn't know who Toda was going in, I would have guessed this was written by a trans person. And I believe that's the greatest praise you can give a cis author, or as far as we know at least, cis author who writes about trans people. It is absolutely lovely, and I hope everyone picks it up next year when it releases in English. And I will end by just showing one page from the book of what Chiaki looks like after he has transitioned, because I don't want you to just have the image of his self that he doesn't like. So here, that's him right there. To Strip the Flesh. Very, very good book. Definitely get your hands on it ASAP. Next year when it comes out. Or if you can read Japanese, import it. See you tomorrow.